The first night I returned to Alderwick, something heavy thumped softly against my front door, as if a fist wrapped in wet cloth had knocked and then withdrawn. I froze in the hallway, my key still warm in my palm, the smell of dust and old paint rising from the walls. Through the frosted glass, an orange glow pulsed once, twice, then settled. I told myself it was a neighbour's lantern, a prank, a reflection from a passing car. But when I opened the door, the glow was right there on my step, breathing like a living thing, and carved into its grinning face were words that made my stomach turn cold. Welcome home. I hadn't planned to stay long. Alderwick was a village you left, not one you returned to, unless you had no choice. My aunt's house, my house now, according to the solicitor, had been empty since her death, and the air inside felt bruised by silence. I dragged my suitcase across the threshold and shut the door behind me, leaving the pumpkin outside. I didn't want to touch it. Its grin was too wide, its eyes too deep, the candle inside flickering as if it knew my name. I told myself I'd throw it out in the morning. Sleep came in fragments. Every time I drifted off, I heard the same soft thump, as though someone were tapping politely and waiting. At some point before dawn, I dreamt I was back in my childhood bedroom, the one I'd slept in until the night everything changed. In the dream, the walls bled orange light, and a voice whispered from the door, gentle and patient, "Come home properly." I woke with a gasp, the echo of that whisper still curling in my ears. Morning brought a grey drizzle and the smell of damp leaves. When I opened the door, the pumpkin was gone. In its place sat a smear of candle wax and a single orange seed pressed into the wood like a thumbprint. I scraped it away with my shoe, irritated with myself for feeling relieved. The village hadn't changed much. The butcher's shop still smelled of iron and sawdust. The post office still had a bell that rang too loudly. People recognized me in the way villagers do, by the shape of my face, the memory of my mother's smile. They smiled back, polite but distant. Only Mrs. Hargreaves, who lived 2 doors down, stopped me outright. Her eyes flicked to my porch, then back to my face. "You're back," she said, as if testing the words. "It's good to see you settled." "I'm just sorting things," I replied. "I won't be long." She hesitated. "If anyone brings you a pumpkin, don't leave it outside." I laughed. "A thin sound. Is that a local custom?" Her mouth tightened. "It's a courtesy. One should always accept a welcome." That evening, the pumpkin returned. I heard it before I saw it, the candle's faint hiss, the soft scrape as it was set down. This one was larger, its skin mottled and dark, its carved grin deeper. The words were different this time, etched carefully across its brow. "You forgot US." Anger flared. I flung the door open and grabbed it with both hands. The rind was warm, pulsing faintly like a heartbeat. I staggered back and dropped it onto the path. The candle inside guttered, then flared. I kicked the pumpkin into the hedge and slammed the door. My heart pounded long after the house settled back into silence. "That night," the house whispered, not words exactly, more like the sound of breath passing through old cracks. I lay awake, staring at the ceiling, remembering things I'd spent years burying. The harvest festival, the bonfire on the green, the smell of pumpkins roasting, the children's laughter, and the scream that cut through it all. I was 13 when it happened. My friend Olive and I had wandered away from the bonfire, chasing the glow of jack-o'-lanterns that dotted the lanes. We found the old miller's field, where the pumpkins grew fat and unguarded. Someone had carved faces into them, dozens of faces, each one different, each one watching. Oliver dared me to touch one. I did, laughing, until the pumpkin split beneath my fingers and something inside it screamed. The memory ended there, as it always did. I never remembered what came next, only the aftermath. The sirens, the questions, Oliver's parents' hollow faces. Oliver himself was never found. The next morning there were pumpkins lining my path. Small ones, big ones, their candles unlit, but their faces turned towards my door. I counted 12 before I stopped. The words carved into them varied. "Stay, remember. Come back." But the message was the same. My chest tightened. I went inside and locked the door. By afternoon, the knocking started. Not on the door, but on the walls. A gentle rap, moving from room to room, as if someone were circling the house, testing it. I grabbed my phone and called the council, the police, anyone. The council said it was a prank. The police said there'd been no reports. When I hung up, the knocking stopped. I decided to leave. I packed my bag, my movements jerky with panic, and opened the door. The path was clear, no pumpkins, no wax, just wet leaves and the familiar bend of the lane. Relief washed over me so hard my knees shook. I didn't make it to the car. Halfway down the drive, the air thickened, the light dimmed, and the smell of candle smoke wrapped around me. I turned back. The house loomed, its windows glowing orange. The door stood open. Inside, the hallway was lined with pumpkins, their candles lit, their faces alive with flicker and shadow. As I stepped closer, the words on their skins shifted, letters crawling like insects until they all read the same thing. Welcome home. I ran. I don't know how long I ran, only that the village twisted around me, lanes leading back on themselves, hedges closing in. Everywhere I turned, pumpkins watched from doorsteps and windows, their grins widening. Voices rose from them, overlapping, a chorus of whispers that spoke my name. I tripped and fell hard on the green. The bonfire pit yawned before me, cold and empty. Figures gathered at the edge of the light, villagers, neighbours, faces I recognised and faces I didn't. They held pumpkins in their arms like offerings. Mrs. Hargreaves stepped forward. "It's time," she said gently. "You left without saying goodbye." "I was a child," I said. My voice shook. I didn't know. "You knew enough," she replied. "You touched what wasn't yours." The pumpkins began to glow brighter. Heat licked my skin. Images flickered across their faces. Memories not mine. Or maybe they were. Children laughing. Hands carving smiles. A boy's face, Oliver's, pale and afraid, his mouth open in a scream. "We keep them," Mrs. Hargreaves said. "The ones who wander, we give them a home." "Oh, no," I whispered. "That's not what happened." The ground beneath me softened, turning to mud. Hands reached up, clutching at my ankles, my calves. I screamed, kicking. But the hands were relentless, pulling me down. The pumpkin's light flared and the whispers rose to a roar. Something snapped inside me then, a memory breaking through. The field, Oliver daring me, my fingers sinking into the pumpkin's flesh. The scream, not from inside the pumpkin, but from Oliver, as the ground gave way beneath him, as hands dragged him down. I'd run. I'd left him there. "I'm sorry," I sobbed. "I'm so sorry." The hands loosened. The whispers quieted. Mrs. Hargreaves watched me, her face unreadable. "Sorry doesn't bring them back," she said. "But it's a beginning." The ground released me. I lay gasping, mud-caked and shaking. The villagers stepped back, their pumpkins dimming. "You can leave," Mrs. Hargreaves said, "or you can stay. Either way, you don't forget us again." I staggered to my feet and ran, this time straight to the car. The engine turned over on the first try. As I drove out of Alderwick, I didn't look back. I thought it was over. I moved to a city, changed my number, buried myself in work. Autumn came and went. Halloween passed without incident. I slept better than I had in years. Then one evening in late October, I came home to find a pumpkin on my doorstep. It was small, neatly carved, its candle burning steadily. The words on its brow were gentle this time, almost kind. "Welcome home." I closed the door and locked it, my heart pounding. From the other side, I heard a soft, patient knock.